our licensed Unity teacher candidate. You're very welcome, Dee.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm just going to wipe my eyes for a second, so bear with me. It's quite emotional. Okay. Right. Okay, so that song brings up, as you can see, a lot of emotion in me. But today I want to speak about how Unity found me. Okay, I didn't find Unity, it found me. It was many, many years ago. I had quite a few crises in my life. And many of these were beyond what I thought was within my control. Obviously now, you know, being in Unity and with Unity people and learning the principles, I realized that, you know, that's not the truth. But at that point in time in my life, I did believe that it was out of my control. So crisis number one was lots of crying. I'm not having a crisis now, by the way. This is just a feeling thing. Crisis number one was a lot of crying. Crisis number two was lots of babies to an alcoholic husband who was at times quite violent, and I was in a situation where I believed I couldn't get out of that situation. Parents had, you know, been saying to me that was, he was a good provider, so I had to deal with whatever situation was being, what I was living in at that time, which was extremely difficult. But that's what I thought I needed to do, what I had to do. Then I ended up having a total breakdown. I had 4 children and decided that at that point that I was leaving everything. I had to get away from everything. I needed to have some space for myself. And because of that, I had major mental health issues, and my husband at that time decided he was going to go for custody of the children, and he won custody of the 4 children that we shared. So that was another crisis in my life. And it was like, when am I going to get a break? This is like one thing after another. What is going on? So the 32 years of events and experiences culminated in major anxiety disorder, major panic disorder, and I actually had developed, because of that, through that, developed agoraphobia. I don't know if any of you are aware of what agoraphobia is, but I could not leave my house, or literally could not leave my bedroom for about 2 years. And before I go on any further too, like, if this raises any issues for anybody, I'm sure that, you know, you can talk about it with Reverend Bill as well. So just so if that does as we go along. Okay, so basically I'd gotten to a point where I had to surrender. I had to surrender everything. I didn't know what I was surrendering to at that point, but I knew that that time had come. And I remember walking outside. We were in central Queensland at the time, and I remember walking outside and just being amazed by all the stars that were in the sky, and just like the miraculous, I guess, nature, Mother Nature, and how amazing it was, and standing there and thinking that I had to, you know, I had to be shown. Somebody please show me what I had to do. What is it that I need to do to move beyond this life that I had co-created? So I kept saying I needed to be complete. And of course, I didn't realize at that time, of course, that we are complete. We're always complete, 100%. Divine, 100%. human. So I found a book. So at that time I decided, okay, well, I have to do something. So I need to get a book and try and read about creating positive thoughts and positive things in my life, in my mind. I was reading this book. It was called Psycho-Cybernetics. And on the back of that book, when I finished the book, it was a great book. When I finished the book, I closed it, and on the back cover was this little sticker that said Silent Unity. And that was the day that Unity found me. Okay, I wrote to Silent Unity, and they basically prayed for me. It was the most amazing experience. Everything had basically, the outcome was so positive. I ended up moving back to Brisbane, and I went to Unity at Wollongabba at the time with Reverend Midge and Reverend Rhonda. And it was like, when Reverend Midge was talking, it was like she was talking to Dee. It was just Dee. There was no one else in that room. It was just me. And everything that she said resonated with me greatly. So obviously, the five principles of unity. I remember Midge used to say OP, OP, GGO, one power, one presence, God the good, omnipotent. To know that I am of God. Please use the words I and me and my for your very selves as well. I am of God. I am inherently good. I'm a co-creator. And through prayer and meditation, denials and affirmations, I can create my world through my thoughts, my words, and my actions. This was amazing to me. It was like, I can do this. This is amazing. No one had ever said that to me before. No one had ever sort of given me any indication. And I'd spoken to many counsellors, as you can imagine, through my mental breakdowns and stuff like that. So to know that this empowered me, this empowered me to make some major life changes. And some of my affirmations were that I am a child of the Most High. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Something wonderful will happen to me today. And through the Golden Key by Emmett Fox, I learned to let go and let God. Surrender to that one power and one presence. And it will lead you on the right path. Okay, so I realized that I was a work in progress, and life is about learning and evolving and growing. And who I was 10 years ago is not who I am today, and I probably won't be the same person in 10 years' time. However, there's one constant thing that will remain with me, and that is that I am of that one power and one presence. We all are. We all are of that divine mind, love, God, whatever it is you want to call it. We are part of that. And we form the whole with each other. So I'm no longer in the wilderness. And there's humbling upon humbling in the wilderness. Basically it's almost like you are reborn, you're reborn into a whole new life. I can't ever think about going back to that place where I was then. And now, so that you all know, my children did end up coming back with me, and they're still with me today. So that was a blessing as well. Okay, so I will always choose truth principles. So before I make any decisions, before I do anything in my life, I always choose the truth principles. So I still get led to crossroads, as we all do. There's always, some decisions that we need to always make, but I always turn to the principles and prayer and meditation. Sit in the silence and wait for guidance. And it always comes. One of my favorite sayings at the moment is that the storm is not always to create chaos. Sometimes it's there to clear our path. In 2 Corinthians, in the New Revised Standard Version, 2 Corinthians 12:9, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for power is made perfect in weakness. So I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Okay, so I continued on. I extended the principles to my work, to my peers, my employees, my clients, my family, my second husband, with the faith of knowing that all will be well. And yes, I woke up and decided that one morning I woke up and decided that I was going to create a new beginning for people who worked in the music industry. And at that time, people who were working in the music industry were faced with a lot of, preconceived ideas of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And one of the things that I did notice was there's a lot of the workers in the industry are actually living day to day. A lot of them were not being paid what they should have been paid. They did not have the insurances in place for them. There was a lot of stuff that needed fixing, and I felt that that was my path and I had to do something to help these people. And I did. I set up a business on that little sleep out where we had 5 children and 2-bedroom little cottage, and decided I'd set up a business in the front sleep out, and did that. And I basically built something from nothing with God's divine intervention. And now I have this business I've had since that time. So it's 27 years now. And it's gone from strength to strength. And the focus of that are the people that work, the workers in that industry. And we have created a lifestyle for them. We have created a future for them. They now do get paid correctly. They now do have superannuation. And I went on to create a charity to have a house that they could live in for people who didn't have families and were struggling or going through medical issues. So we now have that as well. So I believe that I was led to this point. I was led to do this. It was my calling, and it was something that I still strongly believe it's to do with the unity truth principles. So I'm truly grateful for all of the teachings that unity and all of the teachers and every single one of my unity family has given me something that is, I could never ever explain how much it means to me and how amazing my life has become because I did believe in the principles. And yeah, I guess that I just would like to say thank you. Thank you to the one power and one presence in my life. And thank you for the divine guidance. Thank you for all the blessings that I have been able to share with others, which is the most amazing. I love, love, love that the most, more than anything. And thank you for listening to my story today. It's a lot more involved, but I'm not going to keep you here for another couple of hours talking about it. But I would like to go into meditation, if that's okay, Reverend Bill. Okay. So if everybody just either close your eyes or relax your gaze. Find a comfortable position. Notice how you're feeling right now, physically and mentally. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly release the breath through your mouth. As you release it, just let your body relax even more into the chair. Take another breath in through your nose and relax as you exhale fully. Let the air carry that tension out of your body. As you relax into the quiet stillness, please take the words I, me, and my as your very own. There is no power but universal power. I am a part of the whole. I am the child of the one presence and one power, filled and surrounded by perfect peace. I turn within and reaffirm my faith in omnipresence. It allows me to release any fears and invite divine direction. When I trust in the presence within me, I will be blessed in countless ways. I have confidence that the path I am following is leading me to opportunities for peace, joy, and freedom. Remember that the presence and power of divine love is in the midst of every situation. I am loving and I align myself with the power of the Christ within me. I look beyond appearances and set my sights on divine outcomes. Anything is possible when I trust the power of spirit within me to help me succeed as I move through transitions and evolve in spiritual understanding. I welcome the fullness of the glorious present in whatever form it takes. I give thanks for my growing spiritual awareness and the fulfillment of prayer and the understanding of your power at work within me for the highest good of all. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Dee. Now let's keep that space. We can still keep meditating. There's a beautiful music track coming.